Hey, it's your friend Choice AJ here, and I'm bringing you a team builder for my Week 9 match of the UBC. We are going up against Grimreminder, coach of the Munster Maractus, and this is a really important game for us because after last week's loss, we are sitting with a 5-3 record. We have the worst differential of all of the 5-3 teams, and I'm pretty sure that we are ranked 7th in the playoff seeding, and only top 6 make it in. Grim is 4-4, so if he wins, he can catapult himself into the playoff conversation, and we'll be competing with him directly for one of these final few spots. So beating him is going to be extremely important. As you can see on the screen, he has a team of Mega Scizor, Celebi, Alamomola, Rotom Heat, Tyranitar. I had to remember what that thing was called. I almost called it Reptar. Lantern, Landorus, Flygon, Yanmega, Armaldo, and Hitmonchan. So, funnily enough, I think the biggest threat to my team actually is the Rotom Heat, just because my ground type is not the bulkiest. So I need to get a Rocked pronto in order to take that thing on, whittle it down over time. Luckily, he doesn't have great means of hazard removal. I guess he's got like 2 Defogmons with Scizor and Flygon, but maybe he'll choose to run them offensive instead. He has, I guess, 2 spinners, but they're both kind of bad. I guess Hitmonchan's actually like underrated offensively, but I don't like it as a spinner, and Armaldo I don't think is great. I think there's some weaknesses on his team that we can exploit. Like he only has 1 Ghost Resist, being Tyranitar, which is pretty awesome. We'll have to play that pretty delicately with our Decidueye because I don't want to get trapped by Tyranitar. It's pretty treacherous for him, too, because our Leaf Blade can potentially do a lot of damage to Tyranitar. So I'm expecting that the Decidueye is going to do good work this game. And just generally, his team is kind of slow. His fastest Pokemon is Flygon. So he probably has to bring some sort of Scarfer in order to take on my team. Maybe even 2. I wouldn't be that surprised because I do have a bit more speed than him. I don't have a ton of speed, I guess. Like, I only have Thundurus and Greninja that are a little fast. But anyway, I digress. Let me go ahead and hop on into the team. We're probably going to be battling really soon, and I'm not even sure that this team is perfect, but I have so much to do. I have PAX coming up tomorrow. I'm recording this on Thursday, and I'm really excited for PAX, but I have to do the battle with Grim here in a few minutes, finish my GBA video, finish my UPC videos, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're going to start off with a Nasty Plot Thundurus. I think this is the first time this season I'm bringing Nasty Plot Thundurus. It just decimates his team. Thunderbolt, HP Ice, Focus Blast. With a Phytinium Z. Focus Blast with Phytinium Z is easily going to take on mons like Thundurus. It's going to potentially OHKO, or not necessarily OHKO, but do a lot of damage to things like Lantern, depending upon what kind of spread he is. I wouldn't be surprised for him to bring like a Spadaf or an Assault Vest Lantern to deal with my Thundurus. It's a pretty nice check to it. But Hidden Power Ice is great for Flygon and for Celebi and for Landorus. And Thunderbolt just hits his team really hard. Like, he doesn't have great resists to it. This thing sets up easily on Alamomola. I might even go for like 2 Nasty Plots. So that way, even if he's like an Assault Vest with Mirror Coat, we can take him on. We'll have to kind of scout that out. And if he shows leftovers, then I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to click 1 Nasty Plot and go for the win. So yeah, that's the Thundurus set this week. Should really do well. Just need to chip his team down and find an opportunity to set up. We can also sort of set up on things like Yanmega. Even Scizor doesn't really deal that well with Thundurus. And it also gets OHKO'd by a +2 all-out pummeling. So, even with like a bulky spread like a max HP with some Spadaf investment, I think a Thunderbolt would probably do the trick, but we'll see what we need to do in the battle. Next up, we have a Choice Banded Decidueye, Spirit Shackle, Leaf Blade, Sucker Punch, U-Turn. Nothing much to say here. As I mentioned up front, he doesn't have a Ghost Resist besides Tyranitar, and Tyranitar is going to be fearing the Leaf Blade. But I'm going to have to be really careful. I don't want to get trapped with my Decidueye. Like, unless the Tyranitar is sufficiently weakened, I'm probably going to be clicking U-Turn most of the time, either expecting his switch into Tyranitar or not wanting to get Pursuit trapped after I get a kill. We have enough speed on this thing, I think, for Lantern, which is base 67. So if he's somehow running a max speed Lantern, which I have seen before, Agility Lantern, don't sleep on it, folks. We can outspeed that, which is quite nice. We outspeed Tyranitar with a max speed if we want. Sucker Punch is there for nice priority versus Pokemon such as like Scarf Rotom or a, what do you call it, Yanmega that's been setting up, a Flygon that's been setting up. If I had brought this more bulky, it would be a decent switch into Lando. As it is, I don't have a great switch into Lando. I guess Thundurus is a switch into Lando, but I don't want to take a Stone Edge or a Hidden Power Ice. So we'll see how that goes. Landorus is definitely a threatening Pokemon versus me. Next up, Life Orb Greninja, Dark Pulse, Hydro Pump, Hidden Power Fire, and U-Turn. We have enough speed on this thing for Scarf T-Tar, because that thing hits 243 speed with a Jolly Nature in full investment, and so I don't think he can outspeed us. Yeah, he hits 364 with that, and 365 will outspeed, so that's great. He doesn't have great Dark Resist on his team. Just looking at this, his only Dark Resist is the T-Tar. So his T-Tar is incredibly pressured this game, which is excellent for us. Because between Decidueye and Greninja, we should be able to take that thing on. Hydro Pump is going to hit that T-Tar, if it comes in and wants to switch on the Dark Pulse. I guess I could be really cheeky and run something like Low Kick, but I don't really see the point. Hidden Power Fire there for the Scizor. And U-Turn for Momentum. So I've got a little Momentum core here, a U-Turn core between Decidueye and Pashmina. That's really going to come in handy because I can switch into my 3 pivots that I have back here, or I can pivot into, for example, if he wants to bring in Alomomola on the Decidueye, I can just go straight into Thundurus and start setting up. It's going to be really potent. Next up, we have a physically defensive Poliwrath, Toxic, Ice Beam, Hidden Power Fire, and Scald. This thing is a great switch-in for a lot of his team. It's a great switch-in for Scizor, for Armaldo, for Tyranitar. Probably can switch in relatively well on Hitmonchan. I might need it to take 1 or 2 hits from Lando or Flygon. It switches in really well to Alomomola. And we do have the Toxic on here for the Alomomola. We can't hit it otherwise. What would be really great is if I can land a Toxic on the Aloe. And then I bring in my Decidueye and trap it with Spirit Shackle. Because he can he can Wish Protect all he wants, but he will eventually get whittled down and he won't be able to escape since the Spirit Shackle will trap him in. Ice Beam is there for the Flygon and the Lando, Hidden Power Fire for Scizor, Scald for pretty much everything else. I really wanted to put Fighting Coverage on here for T-Tar, but I just couldn't fit it on because I really wanted Toxic. This kind of works though, because now I can run a minus attack nature and put enough speed in here for Mega Scizor if he chooses to run to 0 speed Mega Scizor. And in fact, I think I might just go a little extra here because just for me, I like to speed creep a little extra. Spoilers for anyone who wants to challenge me or go up against me in a battle. I like to put just a tiny bit of extra speed creep on walls. So that's the Poliwrath. Really nice Pokemon this week, just due to its typing. Sure, there's Pokemon like Celebi that can kind of take advantage of this, but Celebi's not a major threat to me. Because 1, I have Greninja to revenge it, and 2, I have this Pokemon, Assault Vest Entei, that can take it on pretty well. Sacred Fire, Stone Edge, Extreme Speed, Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice is kind of just thrown on there because I don't really need another move in this slot. So if he does want to do something cheeky with Flygon or with Lando, I can do that. Sacred Fire is still a pretty good play versus those Mons because, at least versus Lando, it's not resisted and has that nice chance to burn, obviously. Stone Edge is there for Rotom, Extreme Speed, in case I need to hit something such as Yanmega with a little chip damage. But yeah, we were up back in the Assault Vest this week because Entei is pretty bulky. As you can see, it's got a humongous HP stat, 115. And with an Assault Vest, we can kind of reasonably take hits from things like Rotom, things like Yanmega, Celebi, and threaten those Pokemon with super effective moves. Stone Edge, it's not a stab move on the Yanmega, but because Yanmega is really frail and it's 4 times weak to Stone Edge, I can effectively OHKO that thing with it. And Stone Edge is going to be really nice versus the Rotom as well. So yeah, and this also is a pretty hard wall to Scizor, which is quite nice. So unless he's a Agility Scizor with, I don't know, I don't think there's any move that he could run to OHKO Entei. Maybe +2 superpower. But I think I have enough HP that I should be able to live it anyway. So that's quite nice. Then last but not least, I have a Stealth Rock Nidoking. Kind of a bulky spread, just max HP with enough speed to outspeed. What is 267 for? It was for a max speed something. Yeah, I don't remember. I really don't. It was for a max speed something or other. Not Rotom, maybe T-Tar, but that's a lot of extra speed for the T-Tar. Anyway, I'll try and remember what it was, and I can mention it in the battle. But yeah, I really want this thing to get up rocks, and I want this thing to be able to switch into Rotom so that it can't Volt Switch freely on my team. And I do about 50% to an offensive Rotom with Sludge Wave. Earth Power hits pretty much the rest of his team extremely hard. Ice Beam is there for the Pokemon that are immune to the Earthquake, such as Yanmega, such as Lando, such as Flygon. So even with only 108 investment and with no boosting item, this thing should still hit pretty hard. But again, I really just need this thing here to prevent Volt Switch momentum. And I also want this thing to get up rocks ASAP. I don't think I'll lead with it because I'm kind of expecting him to lead with something like Landorus. So I might just lead with Thundurus. I mean, Thundurus going up like a Stone Edge, Choice Scarf, Lando would be pretty bad. We'll have to scout out his team. If he brings like his Celebi or his Armaldo, those could be Stealth Rockers, so Lando might not necessarily pack rocks, and Tyranitar can also pack rocks. So, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I could also lead with Greninja. I could lead with Decidueye. A lot of really good options. So, yeah, just getting up rocks is going to be the priority. So, that'll do it for me. We are going to be battling Grim in just a moment here. So, thank you guys for watching. Battle will be going up tomorrow. Make sure you check it out. This one's really important. This will help us stay in playoff position, or it will, if we lose, we'll fall really far behind. And I don't want that to happen. I've done historically pretty well in the UBC, and I want to continue that. So make sure you check out the channel for other gaming and Pokemon content, and until the next time, I will see you guys later.